Morning, y'all. It's Joe again, back in the patrol car. Yesterday, when I was doing the video for Peg at Zip Ties and Bias Plies, I mentioned my buddy Doug and had started to go ahead and discuss the time that he decided he was going to quit the Marine Corps. Now, I'll vocabulary advisory now. There's explicit content. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to go ahead and use some language I don't normally use on camera. It is what it is because it relates to the story at hand. So back in 1986, my buddy Doug and I went in the Marine Corps. I'd already been leaning that direction anyway, and he just kind of pushed me over the edge, which is fine. I'm not complaining. And so we did what they had at the time, the buddy program. We both signed up. We were both guaranteed contracts into the air wing, aviation side of the Marine Corps, which I was supposed to be aircraft maintenance, and he was supposed to be, I was generalized aircraft maintenance. I thought I was going to be a mechanic. I ended up being a desk jockey working on the typewriter 90% of the time. However, my free time, I got to go ahead and go out on the hangar deck and just assist, whichever shop was shorthanded. I really enjoyed that. Matter of fact, most nights, I work night shift, most nights, I get my work done in about 2 hours, and then everything else was out on the hangar deck or scrubbing airplanes or whatever. I love that sort of stuff. So anyway, Doug, on the other hand, was supposed to go aviation ordnance. He was going to be hanging bombs on airplanes and working on weapon systems. Problem was that Doug had a bit of a lead foot. And so, and bad combination, he had a 1978 Trans Am. At the time that we came to ship out and send off to boot camp, he goes and tells our recruiter the morning that we are headed to MEPS, oh, hey, by the way, I've got like 35 moving violations, or I'm sorry, I take that back. I've got some tickets. Is it okay if I take care of them when I get back? And the recruiter lost his mind. He's like, what tickets? You were told no tickets. What did you do? He's like, well, I got some tickets. Can I take care of them when I get back? No. 35 moving violations in 3 different jurisdictions. His parents and the recruiter scrambled to go ahead and get things resolved with the courts before we were supposed to ship out, and it didn't happen. So buddy program's done and over with. Doug's contract is done and over with. Congratulations, Doug. You have now graduated to 0311 Basic Infantry. So he was screwed there, or he screwed himself there. But he ended up shipping a week later, and so over the first 4 years I was in the Marine Corps, we ran into each other from time to time. Once our paths crossed in the Philippines, he showed me what life was like aboard his mode of transport, which was the USS Frederick, which was a fast frigate, and it reeked of diesel fuel. Little tiny shipboard compartments, just nasty way to travel. Forget that. I'll take the C-141, I'll take the C-130, I'll take the back of the 6x that's going between the airfield and the barracks. I don't care. Y'all earned it, you got it. So, one weekend, we run into each other in Phoenix. Southwest Airlines had this killer airfare. Los Angeles to, or actually basically anywhere in Southern California, to Phoenix or anywhere else for that matter, like $28 one way. I mean, for basically 2 cases of Keystone Light, you can fly to Phoenix. Another 2 cases of Keystone Light, you can go ahead and fly back to Los Angeles, which is where I would go ahead and park my truck because that was the closest at the time that was offering that fare. So I drive the Power Wagon up to LAX. I park it at hotel parking, catch the hotel shuttle over to the airport. I'd fly out in Phoenix. I'd be there in a little over an hour, and then I'd hook up with friends in Phoenix, or I'd have a family member, somebody come down and meet up with me, and I'd borrow a car for the weekend, and then I'd go ahead and fly back on Sunday evening. And there was no orchestration, there was no plan of this whatsoever, but this one weekend I run into Doug in Phoenix, and he's stationed at Camp Pendleton. I was stationed at El Toro, about an hour's drive away from each other. And over the course of the weekend, we hang out like buddies do. We go ahead and we drink our beer and whatnot. Sunday evening, he gets into this big argument with his girlfriend, and he's pissed off and drunk, and he's convinced me that I can spend more time in Phoenix if we go ahead and ride back together to California in his Trans Am, and he'll just drop me off at LAX. Okay, I knew better, but I went along with it. Rather than go ahead and catch the next hourly flight to LA, I went ahead and I hung out with Doug. And so here it is, like 10:30 Sunday evening, and it's a 5.5 hour drive back to LAX to get my truck. And of course, we're open for business first thing Monday morning, and we're driving through Phoenix. Doug's been drinking. Doug's upset. Doug gets pulled over by Arizona DPS going through Phoenix on I-17. And the DPS trooper, thank goodness, took mercy on him. I don't know if he even saw me in the passenger seat, but he didn't acknowledge me. He just went ahead and addressed Doug. And, I'm not going to arrest you. You need to go ahead and pull over here. The next exit's Thomas Road. Pull over, hit a hotel for the night, and I'm not going to arrest you. But if I catch you out and about, you're going to jail. Fair enough. Doug goes ahead and tells the trooper what he wants to hear, and we exit off at Thomas Road, and we switch drivers. And I hadn't been drinking, so okay, we're good with this. Go ahead, get over to Interstate 10, and we start heading west, and we get to the exit for Buckeye, which I think was State Route 85. Excuse me. I think it was State Route 85. And so as we get to the Buckeye exit, the Trans Am overheats. It shuts down, and we're afoot. This is before the days of cell phone. The nearest payphone was an hour's walk down 85. There's a little phone booth on the side of the highway. And so it's 2 o'clock in the morning. We go ahead and make this telephone call. And I call my buddy Kevin and wake him up. Kevin's a good, solid friend. And he comes out and he picks us up and takes us back to his apartment. And so it's like, Doug, no big deal. My truck's parked at LAX. We'll go ahead, we'll fly out, and I'll drop you off at Camp Pendleton. Doug's like, no, fuck it, I quit. What? I said, no, fuck it, I quit. I'm not going back. I was like, dude, you've got like 3.5 years in. You're being an idiot. There's no freaking way. No, fuck it, I quit. You can't quit the Marine Corps. No, fuck it, I quit. It's like, he's like, I'm out of bounds. I'm going to get in trouble. It's like, I'm out of bounds too. Call your command. I go ahead and I call my command. I said, hey, look, I call the staff duty, and I tell the staff duty officer, hey, look, I'm broke down in Phoenix, Arizona. My truck is parked at LAX. I will catch the first flight out. I will be on the plane, and I will check in at the squadron as soon as possible. If anything changes, I will call the squadron. I'll call staff duty, and I'll advise the changes in plan. Okay, great, no problem. We understand. It's taken care of. If anything happens, anything changes, be sure to go ahead and call us, let us know what's going on so we can account for you. Sure, no big deal. You know, adult decision, adult consequences, right? Doug's like, no, fuck, I'm not gonna do it. Doug, I will buy your ticket. That's not a problem. You know, it's $28. I will buy your ticket. I will fly you back. I will drop you off. It's not a big deal. My command understands what's going on. No, I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm out of bounds. They're going to go ahead and they'll write me up. They'll have my ass. You know, I'll be restricted. Oh my gosh. Seriously, dude, grow up. So, no amount of convincing is working. Doug's in the fucking I quit mode, and there's absolutely no way to go ahead and get him onto that plane unless I physically knock him unconscious and drag him on board, and that would just look gay. So Kevin goes ahead, gives me a ride to Sky Harbor. I go ahead and catch the plane from Sky Harbor to LAX, grab my pickup truck. I make it back down to the squadron. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. Check in at my command. Everything go fine? Yep, sure did. Yeah, no problem, Gunny. Everything went good. Okay, well, yeah, just try not to let it happen again. Yes, sir. Not a problem. And there were no other incidents. There was no issue with it. My command understood that as adults, things do happen, and you address them as they happen, as you should. And so it went on. Well, Doug, on the other hand, he went UA or AWOL, whatever you want to go ahead and call it, unauthorized absence or absence without leave. And so he disappears. He had basically 9 months left in the Marine Corps. And then his contract was up. So he goes ahead and more or less keeps a low profile, wanted by the Marine Corps, but not really getting in trouble. So he just kind of hangs out for 9 months. And then finally, he and his girlfriend have another blowout, or ex-girlfriend. They have a blowout. She didn't want anything more to do with him, and I understand that. But he shows up drunk one night over at her parents' house where she lived. And of course, you know, he's trying to go ahead and convince her, you know, hey baby, you know, come back. I love you. And she's like, no, you're an idiot. I don't want anything to do with you. And so her dad comes out, and her dad's like, look, you know, you need to get off my property. We don't want you here. And it becomes a knockdown, rolling brawl in the front yard between the two of them. I mean, they are just rolling in the dirt, kicking and biting and punching. And so I don't know if it was her mom or if it was the girlfriend, but either way, Phoenix Police Department get called. And Phoenix Police Department are on their way. Oh, and by the way, he's wanted by the Marine Corps. Yeah, sure enough, Phoenix Police Department show up and they snatch him up, and he ends up spending a couple days at Madison Street Jail. And while he's at Madison Street, the chasers come pick him up. They take him from Madison Street back to the brig at Camp Pendleton, where he cools his heels for another 9 months. And then he gets kicked out, bad conduct discharge, the BCD, the big chicken dinner, and gets kicked out of the Marine Corps once they're done with him. You know, reduced in rank, took his pay. You know, here's your check for your 9 months minus everything that you owe us for your military year that you never turned in. Blah 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 blah. And so he gets kicked out of the Marine Corps. I had cut ties with him that morning. You know, I couldn't be affiliated with that. I wasn't going to go ahead and go down for his stupidity, as much as I tried to go ahead and keep him out of it. However, I still like to come back to Phoenix to visit. You know, I had a girlfriend there at the time. My family was there. My buddy Kevin was there. And so I would drive back on weekends occasionally. The $28 airfare went away, and it was actually more convenient to go ahead and have my truck there, obviously, than borrow other people's vehicles. But I drive back to Phoenix one weekend. I'm hanging out with Kevin, hanging out at his place. He and his sister shared a house in Central Phoenix, and so one night Kevin and I go out. He's DJing at a club, and so we're just kicking back, having a good time. Come back home. My truck's parked at Kevin's house in the front yard, and the driver's side windshield wipers broke off. There's the side of a Busch Light 12-pack box with a note scrawled inside. "Hey, asshole, I can't believe you came back to Phoenix and didn't look me up. You fuck. Signed, your pal, Doug." Oh my gosh. Wow. So, yeah, clearly he was floating around. Last I'd heard, of course, this has been probably 20 or 30 years ago. I heard that he was living in mom and dad's basement, literally, and was working landscaping. So I don't know whatever became of Doug. Like I said, that morning that he decided to quit the Marine Corps, we parted ways and haven't seen each other since. So that's my Doug quitting the Marine Corps story. And, you know, you sign the contract, you go ahead and you take what comes with it. So anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay warm, be good to each other. And like I said, this was back to the zip ties and bias plies post from yesterday. You know, I've mentioned this story in the beginning, but it clearly needed to be its own content. So y'all hang in there. We'll see ya.